What's your speech ID? Hey everyone, Tom Harrison here with Pro 90D, and I want to speak about your speaking identity, your speech ID. So tell me, if you would, how do you identify now as a speaker? Do you identify as a stutterer? Do you identify as a stammerer? Do you identify as someone who in some way, or maybe many ways, struggles with your speech? Or do you have the fabulous Pro 90D speech identity? Which is what? Hey, you know it. You've been watching Michael's videos. You've been listening. You've been paying attention. You know the Pro 90D speech identity. And I get it. Michael has never framed it quite this way yet. But you know what it is. Oh, I heard it. Thank you. You in the back? Right on. Smooth speaker. If you're in Pro 90D, and if you're not, get with it. Join us, please. We'd love you there. If you're in Pro 90D, if you haven't already, you are absolutely beginning to identify as a smooth speaker. The Pro 90D identity. So, for those of you who want that identity, but you're not feeling it yet, here's one way to begin to identify as a smooth speaker. And that is by getting more connected with your why. With your why. Now, hey, many of you may know that I like to bring why into the conversation. Hey, but it's always for a reason, for a very good reason, for good purpose, for good intention. There's a great why behind this. My work is called Walk Your Why, and I want to help you be on purpose even in your speech. And I promise you, this can help you. Hey, do you want to identify as a smooth speaker? So here's one way that why can play a part in how you identify. I actually use the term in my work, identi-why. Identi-why, W-H-Y. And what I mean when I speak to the people in my world about their purpose, it's quite literally the same thing I want to speak to you about. It's not just speech, and for you as well. It doesn't have to be just about your speech. As you well know, your speech is so connected to the rest of your life, right? How you feel about yourself as a speaker carries through everything else. If you identify as a stutterer, then what does that make you? Who are you? If you identify as a stutterer, you're a stutterer. That's what you feel like. That's how you show up. That's what it sounds like. Now you might be thinking, well, Tom, hold on. I didn't choose to identify as that. I'm a stutterer, and therefore, of course, I identify as a stutterer. What else am I supposed to do? Well, that's one of the beauties of Pro 90D. We help you change that identity. So bear with me here. Here's a way that your why can help you identify as a smooth speaker. So first, let me just ask you, do you have a strong sense of your why, of your purpose in life? Now that's a very deep question. And the fact is, when I've interviewed people just randomly and people who have become my clients, many people either right off the bat say, no, I don't know. I wish I knew. That's why I'm talking to you, Tom. I want to know my why. I want to know my purpose. I feel like I have a purpose in life. I just don't know what it is. That's one group of people. Another group of people say, oh yeah, I know my purpose. And they proceed to tell me something, but it's actually not their why they're telling me. They're telling me what they do. They're telling me something they want to achieve. It's a what. It's not their why. So feel into that for yourself. When you think about what is my why, what is my purpose in life, does the answer that comes up for you from within, is it a why or is it a what? So just think about that. And then there's a third category of people where they actually might give me a why. They give me a purpose that they're up to. But it's not their deep down purpose. It's a much more proximate purpose. It's a purpose, something they're working on right now. Like they might say, oh yeah, well my purpose now, and they might even say that, often they do, they say, my purpose now is to build this business or to finish this class or to get my PhD. Hey, fantastic purposes, right? Absolutely great intentions. And they are a why. Not necessarily, though, your deep why. And in a way, for our purposes right now, whether or not the why you come up with is like why you're here on earth, or it's something you just want to achieve maybe in the nearer term, like get that PhD, like get that job, like get to that job interview, like succeed in the next meeting you have with your team, right? Where speech is involved in each one of those, right? Maybe that's the purpose that's really at the front of your mind right now. Awesome. That's great. Use that why. Let's take a why that's directly related to your speech. Later, we can talk about how the why that's directly related to your speech can also be a deep, profound purpose for your life on earth. It's beautiful stuff. It's fun. It's enjoyable. So we can talk about that later. But right now, think for yourself right now about a purpose that is important to you where your speech is related. And an example is that job interview. A lot of us know that because there have been many job interviews that either you just didn't even take because you were afraid your speech was going to take you out, right? That, oh, no, I won't get the job because I can't get through the interview. Maybe that was the thought. Or you had interviews and they just didn't go well because of your speech, or you blamed it on your speech. So can you relate to that? Imagine stepping into an interview, the next interview you have, and you take it and you're like, I'm going to ace this thing. This is going to be awesome. And imagine you go into that interview and your speech is everything you need it to be. One way you can do that, one way that you can help yourself, I won't say it's a cure for your speech, but it can certainly help. It can certainly put you in the right position, is to have a strong why when you go into that interview, right? Have a strong purpose, have a strong intention. What's an obvious intention, an obvious purpose for a job interview? You got it, getting the job, right? Or at minimum, getting an excellent review from your interviewer. Because let's just face it, we don't always get the job, but it's not always because of us. Sometimes there's somebody else who's just a better fit. Sometimes we're, one of many people. There could be so many reasons. Maybe we came and took the interview and the fact is they just already hired somebody, but they decided to interview us anyway, maybe for the future. There's lots of reasons we may not get a job, right? Even if you slipped, you blocked, you stuttered, something happened in the meeting, that's not necessarily the reason you didn't get the job. And probably almost certainly isn't. But that's another topic. Right now, we're going to imagine ourselves stepping into that interview with great intention, with a great sense of purpose. And we know that a very key purpose is, I want that job, right? I'm going to put it in my terms right now. I want this job. So that's a good question to ask yourself. Do you actually want the job you're interviewing for? I mean, seriously, I'm very serious about this. The next job, or if you're thinking about a job to interview for, or if you'd like to be in a better job, Do you want to be interviewing for a job you actually want? Now, I also get it that sometimes that doesn't seem like a luxury we have, right? Sometimes it's like, I just need work. And even if I have to take something that I don't love, I need the work. Totally get it. That's totally legitimate. But even in that case, we need to have a strong intention, because it's just not going to cut it, right? To go in there and interview for something that in our mind, we know, I don't even want this job, but I need it. You see the difference? That's not very purposeful. That's not very intentional. Like if somebody was to ask me, so why are you interviewing here with me? If I just said, oh, it's because I need a job. I'm desperate. Like I'm out of work. I don't know. As an employer myself, that doesn't fly. That doesn't cut it with me. I want somebody who's going to tell me why they are the right person for the job. So think about that very seriously. If you can't think of a strong why that's more than I need it, I gotta have it, I'm gonna go broke if I don't. Hey, again, those are valid reasons for you, not the most valid reasons for your employer, right? For your prospective employer. Really. So bring intention into that interview. And if you can't bring it, let that one go and find another interview, find another job. Really. Your why is so important. And it's so important when we realize the importance of our why and allow ourselves to identify with that why, with that purpose. Realizing to the extent that I can identify with my why, that I identify, the better I position myself for whatever it is I'm seeking to do. So again, if I have a why, for example, going into a job interview, it's like, yes, I need the job, but I'm realizing, okay, that's not the why I'm really connected with. I want to be connected with a deeper why. Like, why do I want this job beyond that? And if I can't think of any reason, it's like, it's just the money. It's just like I'm desperate. I think I'm going to see if I can find a better job. And then I find a job, and again, maybe it's not the perfect job, but I can say, oh, well, I resonate with this job because you know what? I've definitely got the skills, and I like those skills. You know, maybe it's whatever. Let's say some kind of software development job. I know there's a lot of you out there who follow Michael who are in software. And so maybe you're like, okay, I'm going to be a software developer. I'd rather be at this other company, but but I can't, they're not taking any interviews now, and I need a job, and this one still looks good. And you know what? I can absolutely do this job. I'm good at it. I enjoy being a software developer. It's something I excel at. Do you see where I'm coming from? This resonates with your why, or if not your deep why, it certainly resonates with a proximate why, with a meaningful current why. Like, why? Because I'm good at it. Because I enjoy software development. Because I can really excel. Because I can be a true benefit to this company. You see the difference in that versus just going into an interview because you need the job? I need the job. Give me the job, please. No, I'm not good at it. I hate it. It sucks, but I need the job. Of course, you wouldn't say any of that, but if you're thinking any of that, forget about it. And it doesn't help your speech. And if, God forbid, you get the job, you're going to suck at it. You're going to get fired, or, sometimes you don't, right? And the worst thing happens. 10 years later, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I still got this freaking job. Why did I ever take that interview? Right? So bring yourself to the interview, or whatever situation it is, right? Whatever it is you're seeking, to which your speech is a factor. And bring deep intention. And the deeper that intention goes, the more that why is connected with your core, the stronger you will be in your stand, in your position, in your confidence. And oh my goodness, does confidence make a difference in your speech? And this kind of identify, by identifying with a strong, powerful why, can absolutely help you have the Pro 90D identity of smooth speaker. I hope you see the connections here. How being identified with your why can bring so much more confidence in the moment. You can come so much more calmly into that interview or whatever it is as you're doing whatever you need to do to finish out that PhD, which is requiring maybe communication through speech. You're coming into it every time you need to make a presentation or a speech, every time you're in a meeting, you're coming into it with intention too, but intention and attention to your why. To what matters. You're coming in with purpose. What a difference. What a difference it makes. So much more about the smooth speech identity and Pro 90D. Please join us. But on your way there, begin to identify with your why. Because your why is who you want to be. And I look forward to seeing you in Pro 90D. Take care. Cheers.